Yo. How's everyone feeling today? GM.
Yo. I saw CZ's on the All In Pod doing damage control. Did you see that? Being interviewed by Shamath? Yeah, man.
I saw that. Dude, I think I got rugged on the video today. So it's not streaming on my Twitter account. That's okay though. It is what it is.
It's on probably on the YouTube.
So. Yeah, I think so. Let me check. But Chris, today's your day. We launched Hustle V4.5. Give us the rundown.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool day. Spent a lot of time just doing basic updates and kind of like rebuilding Hustle the way that it should have been built. Just because, like I said before, when we started building it, we didn't really know which direction our users wanted to go. You know, you're building something new, you're actually not sure which is going to be the leading product and the leading feature that everyone wants to use. So you kind of have to just build like a bunch of random things and then reassess midway through and say, this is what people are using, this is what people are not using. So really, the biggest areas of focus were just kind of revamping the UX, making it super seamless and simple to have different workthroughs and flows throughout the platform where everything just feels pretty intentional where it's placed. Basic information like, you know, major tickers always ever present, like Solana, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, front and center. You'll always have direct eyesight to like the fear and greed meter, general liquidity, total crypto market cap. So just like at first glance, you have an immediate snapshot of what's happening within the broader market. And then you have some quick action buttons that'll take you through some of the most popular features on the platform. One of the biggest improvements that we had was redoing the wallet feature and the swaps feature. So cross-chain swaps and local token-to-token swaps locally between on the same chain are all combined into like one brand new experience. Super cool, super seamless. Jake has the new UX on the live stream right now. Looks gorgeous. We spent a lot of time really improving the quality and the accuracy of the responses. We still have more work to do here, but this is just like the ever-growing task of really filtering through and making sure that we can get the most intelligent responses of all time. So a lot of this stuff is still a work in progress, but speed and responsiveness is up by about 40% pretty much for every single input that you'll have. That your output will be about 40 to 60% faster. We added Polymarket top trader tracking and just a few Python scripts that will help kind of users visualize what's happening on chain and which kind of Polymarket bets are catching traction in real time. So more dynamic trading experience there. We added a pretty cool interactive market pulse right when you sign in. So based on kind of what you're inputting in Hustle over time, that interactive market pulse will kind of reflect what you're looking for every time you log in. So if you're searching for meme coins a lot, when you log in, it'll kind of switch over and give you the most relevant meme coin data and things of that nature. And then I'm not sure if it's live yet, but we are adding smart money wallet tracking, all kinds of copy trading features and things of that nature. So the goal basically was to offer a one-stop trading experience where you have not only the ability to go inside of Hustle and retrieve information, but Hustle is also spitting out information to you, and you can kind of sift through it whichever way you'd like to. So kind of a hybrid model there, but all in all, we've been working on this for a few months, but really kind of picked it up over the last 2 or 3 weeks. We shipped so many new features and spent so much time revamping this whole deal. Super excited and just kind of like proud of where the platform is today. And over the next couple months, it's going to get even better. But and as you can see on the screen, this actually was a pretty critical piece. This is what we did first, basically, was reduce the friction of getting onto the platform, reducing the wallet selection modal and page, getting you into Hustle and see what the experience has to offer before you have to sign in with your wallet or anything of that nature. So there's been a ton of just small tweaks. I'm sure that I'm overlooking a bunch, but if you hop on AsianHustle.ai, you will see immediately that this is basically a completely different platform.
Yes, sir. Adam, give us your thoughts on it.
The first impression, the wallet, changing the wallet layout and stuff was just right on point. It's like part of the things with all these, any kind of good user interface is just intuitive. The nature is intuitive, and that switch alone is like, oh yeah, obviously.
Look at that wallet. That is beautiful.
The way it should have always been, right? And yeah, it's just super exciting. Obviously, having an AI wallet, an agentic wallet that we can share with other teams as well. And I'm already in talks with other kind of people who are building, Claude type products, normie friendly products. I was literally just DMing with a guy this morning who's building out. He's Y Combinator funded, who's building out basically Claude for normies. You click a button and it's launched and you have it, right? It's connected to your Google and all this shit. And I'm like, hey man, when you're ready to get an agentic wallet, like we're ready to go, right? And so, just this experience, we've learned so much as a team. It's literally bonkers what we've built. This alone, probably the best agent interface for trading. I mean, it's really incredible that we've done this with such a small team. It really is. I mean, even if you look at what Banker's done, and it's impressive what they've done from a social. I think we're kicking their ass on the wallet infrastructure and the user interface. The other teams have basically all given up on it. It's like, so like I was just looking at it, Hey on the other day, and like they're completely out of this game, right? They're in the like Polymarket game, which okay, take Polymarket, man, if that's the only game you got. I love the positioning. Obviously, there's still this is a product that can be worked on for the next decade, right? I think. This winner, if you win this space, like this is what everybody's going for. This is like, don't fool yourself. This is what Robinhood's going for. This is what Coinbase is going for, and we're doing it basically on chain while they're doing it in centralized exchanges. That's the difference. And so, yeah, it's super exciting. Amazing work, Chris, man. Because, bro, I see this is an unbelievable amount of work. It's really incredible. You think about the year we've spent, over a year now on Hustle. The level of effort is unbelievable putting this project together.
Yeah, it's a lot faster. That's been the big focus for a while. Chris, what did you guys have to do to get it down from, I think, really about 30 to 45 seconds to about 10 to 15?
Yeah, we're trying to shoot for average of 8. We're getting 8 on a lot, but it really depends on the tool call. So we have a lot of dependencies, but it's a lot of spring cleaning in the code. It's a lot of reworking past integrations and thinking, how can we get these a little bit closer to reduce the latency? It's a lot of skills, really just honing in, teaching Hustle how to use Hustle in the most efficient way possible. It's funny, you use AI to teach AI how to use AI. So it's kind of like a path-dependent approach where you really have to look at the architecture and make sure that everything is facing the right way and sharing information amongst each other in the most efficient way possible. So we definitely still have some more work to do, but like Adam said, the positioning of the product today, it feels light years ahead of anything else that's on the market. We've always talked that we've had the strongest AI product in crypto. Banker has extremely strong social features. No discredit to them. They've built an amazing product. But our focus has always been where the industry is going, and that's in this AI-centric world. And although it might not be like the sexiest or the most socially ever present at the moment, the product itself is at an extremely strong foundation, and it's only going to grow from here. So, when you think of who we're going to compete with, we're really in a level of our own in terms of like the crypto space. But then you think of like what's going on in the general AI kind of sector with whether it's Claude or ChatGPT or Grok. None of them have on-chain capabilities. And so at some point, whether it's a year or 2 years or 5 years down the road, they are going to need these capabilities. And the on-chain infrastructure is so complex and it takes so much code that there's only going to be a few competitors within this space that has such a big target market. Yep. I don't know if there's acquisitions that are maybe that have huge potential there, but there's definitely some synergies where if I was a Grok or an Anthropic, I would be looking at one of these crypto companies and saying, I don't want to build all that infrastructure. I'm probably just going to look to buy something like that, or at least, get on their APIs and share information and have a strong partnership with. So that's kind of like what we're building for and what the overall goal is. We're not a general AI, we're a crypto AI. And so everything on chain, execution, research, data analytics, everything of that nature is where we shine. And that's just, we're going to double down and continue focusing on that route.
Look at Hustle. He's giving us the Kelly criteria math on, I asked him about Polymarket bets I should be looking at over the last 24 hours. And I said to give me a scoring system based off of how you feel most confident. And he gave basically the formula for what he had determined.
It's really amazing to have something so powerful at your fingertips 24 hours a day. I mean, it's really next level. It's totally underrated what we're doing here.
Yeah, I think what I've really come to gather is that LLM interfaces is definitely where the future of this is. I mean, we've been saying this since we started, that was very clear. It seems like the market's now starting to digest that as well. The banker kind of situation over the last few weeks is, I think you should say, the canary in the coal mine, although we've been kind of in the coal mine the entire time. And they've built out a bunch of social features, and they're now starting to concentrate their bets on self-funding agents through token launches. It seems like they were kind of a little, I guess, all over the place in terms of trying to figure out what that narrative is. But they had the early win, which was Grok has money. And then they kind of stuck with it, but it didn't really produce any results until the last few weeks, until the OpenClaw phenomena. What we've been always saying is that we're going to have the best AI terminal in the industry. This is for trading. And we do have some other ideas on how we're going to introduce other components that maybe aren't just financial. Well, they are financially related, but not just, I guess you'd say, speculative related, more kind of builder focused using the EDP. But this is going to be the home of where everything Emblem exists now, is on this website. And so we're going to continue to build it out. As people can see, there's actually an Emblem Vault section here, which is the NFT cross-chain bridge. This was Emblem's main product for 3 years or so, but now it's just a small feature within the whole entire company. Like, Emblem's essentially becoming an AI company at the end of the day. And as we unify both of these brands here over the next few months, I think it'll become even more apparent to everyone that's participating and using this platform. I mean, seriously, go try this out and then go compare it to everything else. I really don't think there's anything really close to this, at least that from my experience. But we're going to continue to build, right? There's, we ship things at 80-90% functionality, let the users test it out, you find all of the bugs, and then you continue to build forward. And we're going to continue to aim in the direction that we see fit. And we definitely have been right directionally for the last few years. And we're working on some things in the background to hopefully accelerate that vision moving forward. But man, it's exciting time.
It's so crazy. Like, just thinking as you're mentioning, what we're building and stuff, I'm just thinking back to, like, when I interviewed Shannon like 5 years ago on my podcast or whatever, and we're talking about, just being able to access all crypto assets, like just through, we were talking about like through your browser, like it's just going to naturally, magically somehow happen. Right. And try to walk that through. And like, we were talking about vaults or whatever, but who knew like that it was going to be this? It was literally going to be an AI agent was going to be that interface. Like, how crazy is that? Is so like crazy. That vision that he had back then. It's like fucking, he made it happen, dude. How unbelievable is that? Like, not knowing what it was, knowing it was going to happen some way, but not recognizing how it was going to happen, but keep building in that direction. And like, here it is. It's all assets across all blockchains available through one interface. It's fucking nuts, man.
And let me just say that we're looking at this from a standpoint today of this is what users are going to love. This is what people are going to love to use, but we haven't even gotten into the intersection of what agents want to use and how they're going to transact on chain. So any agent can plug into the Agent Hustle SDK today, and immediately they have access to a full spectrum suite of cross-chain products that they don't have to go and tap into each individual API. They can trade NFTs. They can buy and sell liquid tokens across different markets and different blockchains. I mean, like, just the sheer power that's just one platform with so many integrations is powerful to people, but it's even more powerful to standalone autonomous agents, which is kind of the future that we're going into. So when you think of like where Agent Hustle sits today at the crosshair of not only being an AI, but being able to service AIs and humans alike, man, I mean, this place is just going to get crazy over the next few years.
It's going to be fucking nuts, man.
Yeah,
we've already seen it, dude. It's like we're not predicting anything. We've had 2 giant blowups already, and that's with literally 0 normies on the planet using the products. 0.
Yep.
It's all techs. It's all devs, right? I saw there was like a meetup in San Fran for fucking people building Claude bots and shit. Bro, those are all fucking nerds. Oh, I mean, like, I played around and I finally got one hooked up and shit. It took fucking hours. My retarded brain couldn't figure it out, and I had to basically use like a normie friendly version. Like, and even that, it still sucks. It doesn't connect with Slack right. It doesn't work. You know, we're at the beginning stages, and we've already seen explosions, right? This is gonna, when it finally like really hits, bro, and you have a billion people coming on board, dude, it's gonna be a fucking madhouse, man. A madhouse. And there's literally like 5 teams building something along this line in crypto. Maybe 5. I don't know. We can talk about Layer 0 and what they're doing, but there aren't many teams, and very few have the AI component.
Yeah, I'll dive kind of into that here in a second. But Chris, so what where do we go from here for Agent Hustle? What are the different curation standpoints that you're looking at? What type of chains, what features, and what should users look forward to over the next 2 quarters?
Yeah, so this is where it gets pretty exciting. Right now, Hustle is a very manual process. You're in front of Hustle. Whenever you have free time, you're shooting back and forth with him. We're going to be updating to more of an automated model where whatever your inputs are looking for, he's just maybe going to, if you're looking for low market cap token discovery with, you know, high growth metrics, we're just going to have the ability for him to have basically a totally repeating process that's totally automated with an alert system that can kind of notify you when something would hit your criteria, things of that nature. So you can expect notification systems, messaging systems, and just a much more seamless and automated process where you don't have to be in front of Hustle for him to doing the work that you need him to be doing. So not only would that increase just general token output and usage on our platform, that'll just be benefiting our users in a pretty major way that no other platform has the ability to offer. We're doubling down on our token discovery capabilities and just all the things that, you know, you would expect an AI to be able to do, not only the simple things, but even the more advanced things very simply as well. And then we are working on social features. Banker's not going to be the only one that has complete market share dominance on social features. So those are in the works, but we'll be launching those probably over the next quarter or 2, I would imagine. But, you know, the space is very big and it's so nascent, but there's so much room for big players. So as big as Banker could be today, Hustle can easily be just as big and not even touch each other's market share because the general size, the sheer size of the opportunity is massive. We're doing a lot of cool things with memory. I think memory still is one of our standout features that is totally underappreciated. And so Hustle is really going to be kind of learning what his users are doing, what each user is doing, and being able to suggest or kind of prompt himself to best suit what he thinks you'll be looking for. We added contacts, which is pretty cool. You can add like your mom's Ethereum wallet address. You could say send $10 to @mom. It'll send $10 of Ethereum to your mom. Just kind of really reducing the friction step by step, little by little, into what will become an amazing product to use from the very second that you lay eyes on the page till the very last second that you hit that exit or log out button. The experience should be fun, intuitive. It should feel intelligent. It should feel responsive. And I think that, you know, we're 60, 70% there to offering that product, but over the next quarter or two, this is going to be a behemoth of a platform.
Yeah, makes me incredibly excited because I know there's a lot in store. There's a lot of things that we're working at. Unification of all of the company, forming into AI. And we see here, I see Ansem today is even shilling Banker. So the people.
A lot of big KOLs are on the Banker tip,
which is great, because it just brings a lot more attention.
100%.
I see that the Banker thesis, they're just running with a narrative saying text on chain, which is the same exact thing that we do, right? I think we can actually do it a lot better. They're just doing it from the social factor. I think terminal wise, I think we definitely transcend a lot of them from the capabilities. They have, Banker, and I just say Banker. I guess Wayfinder is another one that's kind of in the battle. They have a lot of good products as well. They're kind of a similar position to us, although they raised a bunch of money. I don't think they've caught kind of their narrative on what the right thing is to do there. But text to on-chain, easy narrative to digest for anybody to understand your whole, your portal to the on-chain. The benefit is that we're an interoperability company, so things like Wayfinder and Banker have to use Privy. We use our own system. They have to use different types of bridging tools. We're able to kind of use all of our own stuff in-house and also have an SDK for others to build in. Banker has been shilling their APIs to the degree that an independent builder went and started building out Banker Wallet, right? So they're doing a really good job from the communal opportunity, and we encourage all of people in our community to build with our products because you can do literally the exact same thing to a higher degree. You can add Bitcoin, right? They're kind of limited to what Privy offers. Emblem can offer any chain, any UTXO chain, right? We have ordinals and counterparty and all that stuff integrated, BRC20. It's not something that Privy has, right? So we have that ability, Hedera, to go in and add kind of whatever we want there. So exciting times, to say the least. Banker today launched their token launcher or their launchpad. It's kind of interesting to see them on base really compete now head on with Virtuals and Clanker, right? They were built on Clanker, which was kind of the DGen launchpad. Virtuals was the other launchpad. Seems like Virtuals is now moving more into to be an agentic marketplace, more of enterprise commercial value. Banker's trying to have independent agents or devs of agents deploy tokens and then fund through the swap fees. I think they've made $5 million in the last few weeks through the launchpad. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what I'm coming to understand is that everybody's a launchpad at the end of the day. That's that's the ultimate goal for every company, is to basically mask your entire vision under some sort of token launcher, because that's where the true money and sustainability is. And if you can manage to do that in a way that I guess you'd say effectively onboards the community and outside users, then you win.
Well, I guess the real value is in the AMM itself, right? The underlying layer is where the real value is, right? You don't care where everything launches. You want to be the base layer. We see that on Solana too, with Meteor, Radium, and obviously now Pump built out their own AMM, because that's where, being the base foundational layer, it's every time you go up a stack on that stack, you may make more money at some points, but at the end of the day, you do want to be that base layer if at all possible. Obviously, it's a cutthroat business. Those guys are killers, but yeah, you just want to own the whole stack. I mean, why on earth? If I was Banker, I would have done the same thing. And obviously, we saw it with Pump. They couldn't work it out with Radium, and they just built their own. It's just this is just brutal business games. And at the end, I would have thought some things like Pump and Radium would have been worth a partnership, an embedded, real deep partnership. But at the end of the day, maybe not. It's maybe it's just winner take all and bloodbath, and there can only be one, Highlander type shit. I don't know. But I did see some posts today about people being bummed out about hey, wow, this is the end of an era of cooperation, between the two. And, who the hell's going to use Clanker now? How would you even get to Clanker? Like, who's going to use it? It's like deader than dead, man. Like, they should have given Banker half their shit, dude. Realistically, you know. But,
well, the real winner here is Uniswap, because I think both of them are built on Uniswap. Like, yeah.
So you got to be the base layer is the best layer.
Yeah. Ultimately, Chris, everyone's commenting on how Jack2 looked. So
thanks,
Miami
boys.
vibes.
Oh, it says Miami vibes, bro.
I'm in the lab. I'm in the AI lab. I'm in the real lab. I'm in the Miami lab.
Oh, dude. I mean, it's like you upgraded your whole look. You know, you got the sick fucking house and stuff. Living the dream.
Yeah, I turned into a Miami crypto scammer overnight.
We'll just need Jake to move to fucking Dubai and we'll be set.
Yeah, right. I'll set up the business in Dubai. Last thing that is just kind of really a big step for Hustle is, you know, we're revamping subscriptions. There'll also be subscription features, but we're also going to be implementing a pay-as-you-go model. So if different AI agents across the web just wanted to plug in and use a couple prompts to use cross-chain services or, you know, on-chain NFT trading or whatever it might be, that is something that Hustle could offer. They don't have to go for the full-blown subscription model. They could just use the pay-as-you-go model. Pretty cool there. And such like an underrated aspect, though, is the Emblem Vault integration within the Hustle platform. This is like a vision of the future, like Adam said, that we've been planning for like almost a decade, and it's here, and it's like kind of fallen on deaf ears. But to vault an asset from one blockchain to another blockchain was like the clunkiest experience of all time. It was a miracle that Emblem Vault worked, but that just shows how powerful the product is, because it was a mess to use. Initially in the first versions, it got easier and easier and easier. Eventually, we got it down to like 3 clicks to move one blockchain asset completely non-custodially to a new blockchain. And that was like a really big feature and a really big feat in itself. But now with one prompt, you can vault multiple assets across different blockchains just using natural language text to the on-chain execution. This is like a monumental step, not only just for Emblem Vault, but to kind of compact it all within the Agent Hustle platform itself and have everything at your fingertips, not only for humans, but AI agents alike. This is just so bonkers. So hats off to the engineering team. I don't know, the product has so many cool features. It's only going to get better. This is like such early days. And just like looking at even 6 months, it's going to feel crazy to see how far we've come.
You've come a long way in a year. Just 1 year from, but we're not even a year into just the financial features. I think that was launched in April of last year. So in 10 months went from simple swaps on Solana to literally a full on AI curated trading terminal across 6 different chains: Bitcoin, Solana, ETH, BNB, Polygon, and Hedera. Probably a few more chains to add. Right, Base obviously is an easy one. Hyperliquid, I think Mega ETH would be interesting to add here over the near term. Some of the other L2s, ever since Vitalik came out and basically said death to L2s, so we'll have to see who's the survivor there. But yeah, the curation, the automation itself is really what takes the next level, and that will be the I guess you guys will see, because I'm kind of thinking ahead, but over the next few months when everything's merged together, I think it'll make infinitely more sense on what's going on. But just know that Agent Hustle is the entry point to the whole entire Emblem Vault ecosystem. Moving on, in also big news, and something that we've been saying for another year, that we are headed into the interoperability or intelligence and interoperability cycle. No more clear that is also happening than Tether and Layer Zero, Tether investing in Layer Zero and Layer Zero launching a blockchain today built off their own protocol with partnerships apparently with the international or the stock exchange, Jump Crypto, NASDAQ, Citadel, Sequoia, all potentially named on this list coming in, and they are becoming the interoperability stablecoin chain. No doubt that is like the main focus this year. I'm going to go head on and compete with Tempo, which is Stripe's platform. So it'll be kind of interesting. You got Layer Zero that's using USDT Zero. That's like their interoperability stablecoin for Tether. And they're going to go head on Stripe. That's going to be an interesting battle here over the next few years to see if the crypto natives can stand off the largest private payments company in the entire world. I don't know. What do you think, Adam? Do you think if traditional fintech comes in, they can dominate, or the power of Layer 0 and Tether and some of the traditional financial companies like the stock exchange and such can come in and stave them off?
I think it's a brilliant, genius move by Tether. Like, those guys know what they're doing. They're smart. They have unlimited money and unlimited influence. And I would not bet against this being like the default one place to swap stable coins. Like, I mean, we've talked about it a lot. We've strategized around it. I think this is like a massive play. And it is, like you said, man, I think Tether's getting into it. And here you go, man. This is like going to be really, really difficult for any other company to come in and do what they're doing, which is basically, I mean, as I read it, I mean, it's not fully announced yet, but basically a stablecoin router for the globe, right? And yeah, it's just the big boys, bro. The fucking big boys are here, and yeah, it's you just see it. It's happening. You know, I wish we had more. I wish we had 100 more devs and a giant team because we could compete. But yeah, this is one you got to give it to the big boys. The big boys are going to win this game.
Layer Zero's got $300 million in funding. Tether makes $15 million a day or whatever it is, right?
It's like
pretty tough to compete. Stripe is worth, what is it, $500 billion or something like that. They're acquiring every single talented individual, right? Dan Romero just went over there from Farcaster team. They have the Paradigm guys.
Stablecoins. Who knew crypto was going to turn into stablecoins? I mean, this is like, I wrote down one of my notes for today was just like the capture of Bitcoin and capture of crypto. This is like the capture aspect of it, right? That doesn't mean we still can't have crypto and freedom technology, but a good portion of what we're calling crypto now is going to be captured tech. And, so it is what it is. But yeah, these guys, I mean, this is the thing that's going to kick America's can down the road for a long, long time. If they build 100%. This out quick enough, this lets the US dollar kind of still be the default global currency for maybe another, 20, 30 years? I mean, if they get the AI agents using it, maybe forever. Like, maybe we can borrow money forever if they get this working. And so, it's incredible. The opportunity obviously is just, it's incredible. What a genius move, obviously, by Layer 0, like landing that and being the one to actually do this with them. Great on that team. It's fantastic. And, they're the front runner.
Yes, they are. I think at the end of the day, also bullish for M from Vault. What I put this post out yesterday, but it feels like the inevitability or final boss for all successful interoperability protocols is a Layer 1 blockchain. Because what is Layer 0 doing? They built their own token standard. They built OFTs for fungible tokens and NFTs. Obviously, the fungible token side is 99.9% of their volume. The OFTs didn't really take off. So Emblem Vault still dominates on the NFT side of things. Obviously, much smaller market than interoperability of fungibility, than the interoperability of non-fungibility. But they built an OFT standard, and now they're financially incentivizing people from an economic purpose to confirm and validate blocks that are full of OFT tokens. Right now, they have OFT that's pushed through all these chains, but the OFT standard is included with ERC20 on these different chains, right? On Arbitrum, on Ethereum, on Solana, etc. So they're competing against all these other token standards. But now with their own chain, they can ensure that every single block is full of OFT tokens, right? So you could kind of see a future here for Emblem if we ever get to that type of scale, where you would build some sort of like faulting token standard, and then just have those blocks confirmed on a block space or validator level. So I would say the biggest loser right here is Wormhole. I know they're focusing on RWAs. Maybe this even clears the path for them to just continue doubling down on RWAs while Layer Zero's now made a clear lane that they're going to go push and compete with against Stripe for stablecoins. And Wormhole gets basically whatever the RWA ecosystem is. And then clear lane for us, we just got to scale to that level, which is a significant challenge. And more of a game of survival than it is anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's easy to get lost into where we are in crypto and how far we have to go. And it just reminds me of like something like YouTube or like Instagram, where people are like, why would you want to broadcast anything online? Like, what do you mean you're going to like take photos and like post them online? Like, what is that worth, you know? But then you look in the future and then everybody, all they do is the Instagram life is almost more real than real life. And if you're not posting it on Instagram, maybe it didn't really happen type of kind of acknowledgement. And so on-chain executions are going to be everything going forward. And automation online is going to be everything going forward. And building directionally in that space like we are, like Emblem Vault is like just so overlooked. You know, I was talking to someone last week that like held a bunch of crypto, but like they've never, and they were asking me about this company and what we do. And I was like, we move blockchain assets from different blockchains. And they were like, what do you like? Why would you want to do that? Like, what is the benefit of that? What does that matter? And it just, you know, I was like, well, have you ever like used any of your Ethereum? And he was like, what do you mean? You know what I mean? And so when you think of how many people hold crypto, but have never used it for anything, then you can start to begin, you know, you can begin to realize how early we are in this movement of the on-chain economy and jumpstarting what the future of, you know, just everything really kind of is, because it'll all be on transparent, decentralized ledgers. And we're just at the very beginning phases of it.
The most beginning of them all. So I guess the question then is, you know, where does the hustle token go from here? I think that's generally probably our space right now has 14 people. There's been 150 people who've tuned in. Obviously, crypto is down pretty significantly. But you know, once that price goes back up, then everyone comes flooding back. And then the space then it goes from 15 people to 150 people quite quickly. So, you know, I think we still have like a month or two of development before we pick a lane on what the tokenomics are. But we have a lot of good ideas and a lot of good things that are kind of churning and burning in the background. We still have Migrate Fund, right, which is still continuing to...
Big news out of Migrate Fund. Some big migrations landing, huh?
Some big ones announced. The Mitchie one.
Yesterday announced. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Mitchie announced. We're in contacts with, I think, like 5 different teams that have 500K liquidity pool or higher. Some of them pretty significant size. I think each one will have a big landing. Some of them also in the cross-chain migration space as well, which I think when people really realize what's going on there, then I think that can start another wave. The Solana migrations just continue. It's interesting seeing the Mitchie announcement yesterday. It's never cut and dry with meme coin migrations. Half the community wants it, half the community doesn't. But we saw a bunch of people sell, which we told them was going to happen. And then you got all the true believers and you kind of move on. The worst thing you could do as a migration is announce a migration, people sell, and then you basically say you're not going to do the migration because then more people will sell.
Yeah, that's a mess.
Right. So they're sticking to the guns and we're going to get them all set up.
But they're going to get a bunch of the supply on the other side. They're going to generate liquidity pool fees. They're going to be in a 10x better position as a team to push their ethos of Michi than they are today. You know, so if they want evangelists, this is how you get them. Even if the token price stays the exact same pre and post migration, the positioning of the actual meme coin is a 10x improvement for it is today. They have funding to evangelize their ideas and grow their community in ways that they aren't able to today. So even just from optics looking in from outside, like if the token price doesn't necessarily change or skyrocket, the team itself is in such a stronger position. So it's something to take note of.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. There's a lot of things to look forward to. Bullish catalysts in the industry, interoperability, intelligence. Obviously, we knew that was coming. Launchpads. This brings people back to the industry. Obviously, last week was pretty horrendous over the weekend. Just a giant nuke to 60K Bitcoin. A bunch of people freaking out. Back to 70K. Probably hang around here for a while all of these different narratives develop for things to pay attention to over the next months. I see people saying we're going to range until October. When you look historically at the bottom of a bear market, I was looking last year, it's anywhere from 3 months to potentially a year or two. This seems to be accelerating pretty quickly. Trump and Scott Bessent came out and said that they're doing another round of meetings today for the Clarity Act. Throwing some shade on Brian Armstrong. I saw Scott Bessent today basically saying that Coinbase is holding the entire thing up and that they're being I forget what word choice he said, but basically saying like they're not being, or they're not participating in an authentic manner or in an honest manner, right? They guess that they're doing it in their own best interest because they're holding up on the stablecoin yield.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, if that was taken away, that's probably a gigantic hit to Coinbase's business model as they get 50% of Circle's revenues.
Yeah, it was interesting. I saw that somebody was like, oh, I was looking at somebody analyzing the Circle IPO and saying, oh, you want to buy it, 12 months out after the IPO. That's when the typical like low after an IPO is. And people in the comments were like, why would I ever buy that? I'll just buy Coinbase because Coinbase makes more money than Circle on their own products. So I don't know. Yeah. So obviously they're fighting for it because this is like a huge revenue stream. But look, this is what all companies do. He should be fighting for it, obviously.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. Chris, where do you think the Clarity Act lands?
Ooh, I mean, these things are impossible to predict because they can get held up by one congressional member or whatever it might be. One small footnote in there could hold the bill up for an extra 3 months, but it'll land at some point. I kind of prefer the crypto without regulation than the crypto with regulation, but I don't know. You just never know what's in these bills. There are thousands of pages that nobody reads, and there could be like one small footnote in there that restricts half of the industry for whatever reason that's completely overlooked. And then we look back in 5 years or 3 years, and it turns out that was like the worst thing that ever could have happened to the industry. So can't really have any good insight on it, but I mean, like I said before on a previous show, these aren't the fighters that I want. I don't want Brian Armstrong fighting for crypto ideals, and I don't want the big banks having the other half of the side of influence. So in a way, it's a lose-lose for pretty much all crypto natives. Maybe it unrestricts traditional capital to be able to enter the market, but I mean, in terms of like crypto idealism and economic freedom globally, I don't think that this is a win for our space, to be honest. So that's where I'm at.
I just found on the timeline the banker token tracker of all the launches.
30K.
So far, there's been 2,500 token launches. Total market cap is 2 million. The highest market cap is 30,000.
Are they doing something weird with their liquidity pools that cause all these market caps to be 20K?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I think it's that. Remember when this was at some point last year, we were looking at banker statistics, and it was like there was like 80,000 tokens launched, and one token was over $1 million market cap. Because I think what happens on the social side, and they're gonna have to figure this out, is that people launch tokens on the timeline, but the news feed on Twitter is so fast that if that post doesn't get engagement, then it's just no one's trading it anymore. Yeah. Right? It's gone. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't get attention within a few minutes, it's dead.
I mean, literally, well, you see it. I mean, we all see it. It's like literally, there's just dudes. I think Jakey might have, maybe it was Chris pointed out, there's some dude who was launching, 30, 50 tokens a day, just in people's replies. Like they said a word and he's like, banker, launch a token for bubblegum. Oh, here's the bubblegum token. Dude, it's like, bro. What the fuck? I mean, I don't know. Maybe these guys are just like hoping for the Coinbase fucking airdrop, you know, and they're just playing that game. They're probably smart. I don't know, but it just it's like such a nothing.
So it looks like they launch at 20K because this is the newest one. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I saw the 20.4 or 20.8K. Seems like that's the starting point somehow.
That's crazy. That's like what, 5 times as high as the Solana ones.
Yeah, but they must hold back. They must that must include 50% or whatever of the whoever launches the token. I think that they get half of it, right? And then the other 50% goes live.
I can't remember. We should.
And I remember the when Banker was launching this most recent run up, they were doing an 80-20 pool split. Remember, it was 80% of even post, so it was an uneven post bond split. So I'm assuming that's probably something that's happening here to some degree, because he did a great job with getting the virality there. But when you looked at like Molebook and stuff, when it was at an $80 million market cap, there was only 2 million of actual ETH in the pool. It was like 10 million of the other token. So you're able to like nuke it significantly faster than before. So, I mean, smart games. To me, it just shows that it's still just catered towards meme coins more than it is sustainable projects. I guess maybe you have to figure out what are agents looking for. If they're going to be autonomous and launch coins, are agents going to autonomously launch tokens that are just meme coins, or are they actually going to try to implement tokenomics with this token in some capacity? I don't know. It's a big unknown at this point in time, but they're going to have to do some tinkering with it.
Games, man. I mean, look, at the end of the day, none of us know. There's not been one agent on Earth that's like paid for itself. I mean, you can give me some bullshit about fucking, you know, I don't know, Grok. Well, he's made $1 million, or really, like, or whatever the early one was, you know. But it's like, is it really okay? The guy set up a corporation for it, and you know, but we're just in the super early days, and that's what crypto's actually best at, is playing around in these early games. Yeah, but it's just 99.9.
When Hustle Launchpad.
Bro.
When the Hustle pad.
Bro, ASAP. ASAP.
When Hustle everything.
Yep. It's kind of going in that direction. Man, I mean, just get on the platform and use the platform. If you haven't used the platform, if you haven't used it in a while, or if you haven't ever used it, just give it a try. It is like so cool. It's literally the future that we all envision, where you can wake up. We'll be adding voice features where you can literally wake up and say, Hassan, what did I miss last night overnight? And he's just going to tell you in your curated kind of criteria what you missed, what would be relevant to you. This is the future of crypto. It's exciting to build it every single day. This is a 0.5 release. I just want to make that a note. We wanted to get it out to the community as fast as possible to just kind of show the shift in speed and momentum that we're going to be delivering to the community, and just like the change in pace of how the direction of the product and everything that we have going on. So I wanted to tangibly get a real big upgrade in the hands of the community, but it is still a work in progress. But in the time that we spent building this out compared to the distance of where this product is from our last release, it's significant. So the foundation is so strong. The platform is so feature rich, and just really refining all the avenues and the pathways and the usability of all of the features that are on the platform is the focus. So don't think of this as the end, but really just the beginning.
Yeah, it's really interesting too. Like, just one thing, the ability to like pay as you go and micropayments. Like, this is something we've completely glossed over. Like, as crypto, we've glossed over like, oh, this
world
is
changing.
We're gonna do micropayments, bro. Micropayments have been talked about for 35 fucking years.
And impossible to do.
Impossible to do.
They're here, and everyone's like,
they're here now. It's like literally there was a debate early internet, like micropayments. The whole world's gonna run on micropayments, and there just wasn't the technology to do it then. Now there is. It's like, and we've just like, oh, of course they're micropayments. It's like, of course. This is like a world fucking changing technology, and we're like, oh, just so accepted now. It's like, okay. Yeah, they're all going to micropay with themselves. It's like, this is amazing. We haven't even seen it really implemented yet. I mean, it just to think about this, guys, when you're thinking about AI agents, what they can do, how they can get paid, all this sort of stuff, streaming payments, like, this is actually like revolutionary technology that we haven't even really begun to understand how it's going to impact it. So. just keep that in your mind when you're thinking about this stuff. It's incredible.
Incredible times, to say the least. I'll wrap it up here. Everyone go test out the new Agent Hustle site, agenthustle.ai. Browse through, deposit some Bitcoin, some Solana, some ETH, do some trading, dive in the trenches, trade some NFTs, bet on Polymarket. Let us know what you think. I know Mav was hitting 10x Polymarket bets like a few weeks ago, pretty consistently on the prediction market side. So, do your best, and we'll see you guys soon.
Later, guys.
Later. Take care.